What is a man when his name is stolen from him? When the story of his life, his pain, his very character, is ripped from his throat and twisted into a weapon to be used against him. He is made a ghost, a phantom haunting the edges of a narrative he no longer controls, forced to watch a fiction of himself, a monstrous effigy paraded through the minds of others. Today, we dissect one of the most cowardly and insidious forms of dark magic practiced by the narcissist: character assassination. The potion we are brewing is called the Draught of Stolen Echoes. It is not an elixir of forgiveness, nor a balm for the wound. It is an antidote designed to grant you immunity to the poison of slander. Pay attention. Every practitioner of the dark arts knows that the final, most brutal act is not the discard itself. It is the salting of the earth that follows. It is ensuring that the victim has nowhere to turn, that their credibility is so thoroughly destroyed that any attempt to speak the truth will be seen as the ravings of a madman. I have seen the pages of your own case file, the 7-year-long con, the systemic deception, the financial and emotional vampirism. But the true masterstroke of her cruelty came after she had already secured her next supply. It began with the smear campaign, a preemptive strike. The guilty always scream the loudest, and they always scream first. She knew the depths of her betrayal. She knew that if even a fraction of the truth were to come to light, her carefully constructed mask of the victim, the saint, would shatter. So she and her family, her court of willing, witless sycophants, began their work. They painted you as the villain, the abuser, the unstable one. You who had housed her, fed her, and funded the very savings she used to build her escape. You who endured years of gaslighting, of being called crazy for suspicions that were not only correct but were, in fact, a gross underestimation of the truth. And when you, in a moment of raw human agony, finally reacted when you sent an email detailing the cold, hard facts of her treachery, what did she do? She did not refute the facts. She could not. Instead, she weaponized your pain. She forwarded your words to her father, the patriarch of the coven, who then brandished the law like a bludgeon, threatening your mother with charges of harassment. Observe the tactic. It is flawless in its wickedness. They provoke a man for years, push him to the absolute precipice of his sanity, and when he finally screams, they point and say, "You see, I told you he was mad." They turned your righteous anger into their proof. They used your voice to silence you. This is the art of the smear campaign. It is psychological warfare designed to isolate you, to make you an island of perceived insanity in a sea of their lies. The people enlisted to spread these lies, the family, the friends, are what the scholars of this darkness call flying monkeys. They are extensions of the narcissist's will, often blind to the full truth, content to carry out the bidding of their master in exchange for perceived favor. They do not care about the truth. They care about their tribe. And you have just been excommunicated. So what does one do? How does one fight an enemy who uses your own name, your own history, as a weapon? You feel the rage. the injustice. You want to scream your truth from the rooftops. You want to present the evidence, the receipts, the screenshots of her double life. Do not. That is the trap. You are playing chess with a pigeon. It will knock over the pieces, defecate on the board, and strut around as if it has one. Instead, we must turn to a grimoire far older than any textbook on psychology. We turn to the Stoics. These were men who understood the nature of true power and true reputation. A philosopher, a man who understood the mechanics of the mind, once said, "Your reputation is in the hands of others." That's what the reputation is. You can't control that. The only thing you can control is your character. This is the first ingredient of your antidote: radical acceptance. Your reputation in the minds of fools and liars is already lost. It was never truly yours to begin with. It was a projection, a story they told themselves about you. When you ceased to fit their story, they simply wrote a new one. Let them have it. It is a work of fiction, and it will burn with the rest of their pathetic library. The great Roman emperor and Stoic Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "Yes, keep on degrading yourself, soul, but soon your chance at dignity will be gone. Everyone gets one life. Yours is almost used up, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others. You have entrusted your peace of mind to the opinions of a proven liar and her complicit enablers. Take it back. Their words are echoes in an empty room. They only have power if you believe they are your own voice." The second ingredient is the most potent. It comes from the slave-turned-philosopher Epictetus. He was a man who knew true powerlessness, and from it he forged unbreakable strength. His instruction for dealing with slander is the ultimate countercurse. He said, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.' Read that again. Internalize it. This is not weakness. This is not surrender. This is a display of power so profound it renders the attacker impotent. It communicates that their pathetic attempt to wound you is so far beneath your notice that it is almost amusing. It tells them, and more importantly, it tells yourself, that your self-worth is not up for debate. It is not determined by a committee of fools. It is forged in private by your own actions. Which brings us to the final ingredient, your life itself. The narcissist's smear campaign is a narrative, a story. Stories are defeated not by arguments, but by better stories. Do not waste your breath telling people you are not the monster she claims you are. Show them. Live a life of such integrity, such discipline, such relentless self-improvement, that her story becomes laughable. Let your success be your argument. Let your peace be your rebuttal. Let your silence be your verdict. Marcus Aurelius gave us the final word on vengeance when he said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. She is chaos. You must become order. She is deceit. You must become radical honesty. First with yourself. She is noise. You must become silence. Do not engage. Do not defend. Do not explain. Every word you speak to them is fuel. Starve them. Your silence is not an admission of guilt. It is a declaration that the trial is over, and you were never a participant, only an observer. They slandered you to control the narrative. They threatened you to ensure your silence. They miscalculated. They assumed your identity was tied to their perception of you. Your identity is tied to your actions, and your next action is to turn your back on their circus and begin building your empire. Her lies are a confession that she could not defeat you on the merits of her own character, so she had to invent one for you. A confession that her greatest fear is the world seeing you thrive without her. Grant her that fear. Let her watch from the ruins of her own character as you build a fortress from the stones she threw. The draught of stolen echoes is not a potion you drink once. It is a discipline you practice daily. Every time you choose to focus on your character over their chatter, you take another dose. Every time you respond to their poison with your own peace, you build your immunity. They did not steal your name. They only revealed the strength of your soul. Lesson is over.